everyone. Now before we go anywhere with this, I just want to say that I know that this series is, supposed to be more calm than anything else I usually make, but I don't know if I could do it for this episode because it's the 10-year anniversary of SuperBad's release in theaters. I am so happy that this episode has finally come for me to do, because, oh gosh. Alright, first things first, before we talk about how I got this album and what happens in this album or anything, I want to talk about SuperBad, because it's the 10-year anniversary of its release. We gotta pay it the respect that it deserves, and this deserves a lot of respect. SuperBad, if you've never seen SuperBad, then what are you doing? Why are you still, everything you've been doing up to this day is worthless. Go watch SuperBad right now. Pause the video, please. Buy it. I'll lend you one of my 7 billion copies that I own. Go watch it. Definitely watch it. Come back and listen to what I gotta say. But if you don't want to do that, then first off, screw you. And second, okay, then I'll give you a short synopsis of what the movie's about. SuperBad is about these two characters, Seth and Evan, portrayed by Jonah Hill and Michael Cera. And don't forget about Christopher Mintz-Plasse, though. He is a big part of it. There he is, that's my boy. And he plays Fogel, also known as McLovin. The whole point of their journey in the movie is to get beer for a party that Seth's love interest, Jules, played by Emma Stone, is throwing. And she lends him like $100 and she's like, go get some beer. And he's like, okay. So he drags along Evan as well as Fogel to go get that beer, and they get involved in a bunch of hijinks and all that fun stuff. It's such a good movie. 10 out of 10. Go watch it. I can't do it justice talking about the plot, and I don't want to ruin anything, so definitely go see it when you have the chance, because it's, in my opinion, the greatest movie ever made. And I mean that, like I actually mean that. It's probably the greatest movie ever made. And it means a lot to me. It's the movie that made me want to become a filmmaker. Enough talking about the movie, though. Let's talk about what we're really here for, and that is the soundtrack. Now, the vinyl record version of this soundtrack never came out until, I think, 2014. So that was 3 years ago. And this movie came out in 2007. So, like, that's a long time for you to actually do that. But it's the new thing. Vinyl's the new thing. So I'll let it slide. Since this album is pretty big, they had to give us 2 records, and that equals 4 sides. But the thing about one of these records is that one of the sides is used for, not for songs or anything, but for art on the back side of it. And you see that there is silhouette of Seth and Evan. Most of the songs on here are original songs for the movie. It's kind of like a mishmash of original soundtrack, as well as like a jukebox playlist as well, because it's got things from like the Barkays, Jean Knight, which is featured in a very hilarious scene in the movie, Curtis Mayfield, which is featured in a very touching scene in the movie, and The Roots, Rick James, and another song from the Barkays. And there's a lot of other songs that were featured in the movie from artists, but they were included. There's another album, though, called the bonus CD, which was released as like a promotional item. And there's also other songs that are in the movie that are not on any of them, like Ace of Spades, which, why would you not put that on an album? I think I could see why they didn't include it, since, well, we'll get to it. But let's talk about the original soundtrack for the movie that they made for it. The composer for the movie, his name is Lyle Workman, And what he did in order to capture the feel of what the movie was going for, the movie's kind of like it's kind of a throwback movie to like 70s teen sex comedies, 70s, 80s, even 90s, American Pie and stuff, American Graffiti, Animal House, all those movies like that. It's a throwback to that. What he decided to do in order to capture the feel of the 70s exploitation movies and stuff, he decided that, look, if we want to do that, why don't we do it for real? Let's actually do it. And so what I mean by that is he got artists from back then to participate in the making of the original soundtrack for this. So he got Bootsy Collins, Catfish Collins, from Parliament Funkadelic, and he also got members from James Brown's old original backing band. And he got them all into a room, and he said, let's throw this back to the 70s, baby. And boy, did they. Oh gosh, it is like, this movie soundtrack would fit perfectly if you placed it over any exploitation movie from back then. It's so perfect. Throw it over Shaft, it'll fit. Throw it over Foxy Brown, it'll fit.
Pam Grier, that one chick hit squad who creamed you as coffee, is back.
Because this is like the most authentic funk rock soundtrack ever. It could be its own like album, honestly. If you released it under like a different name, called it, I don't know, the SuperBad Band or something. It's just that good. I listen to the songs like on their own, just like, when I'm just listening to music. It's in my playlist because they're actual, fully made songs. Look at all the musicians. So I could show you that I'm not lying. Here is some of the cast and some of the crew. There's Bootsy Collins. I want to say that's Lyle Workman, Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill. They look alike. They look like they're brothers. No, wait, no. This has got to be Lyle Workman. I don't know who this bald guy is. Is that the guy from Tumblr? I don't know. And so all these songs are pretty much featured like just throughout the movie. They're just like, they're just score, basically. It's just the typical score, but, not a score. It's a freaking funk band. It's awesome. And so they just pop up every now and then in the movie. And it includes most of it. There's a bonus track on here called Funk McLovin, which is not featured in the movie, I don't believe. It's also numbered too. I have number 691. 69. 69 one. That's a weird one. That's a weird. What position is that? Tell me! Some of the songs are not featured in the movie. They're lying because, let me tell you, Seth Saves Evan is not in the movie. Yes, I love SuperBad. I love the SuperBad album. I love everything from Apatow. Almost everything he touches is like gold. He's like Midas. Yeah, that's pretty much all I could talk about. If I could talk about the movie, I would talk probably for 20 minutes, most definitely. But since we're talking about the album, we can only go so far because you're already listening to it. So I can't really describe it. So I think we're just going to end it there. And thank you very much for watching this special, very special episode of the series. I hope to see you again. I'm sorry for going against my word of keeping this calm, but it's 10 years. 10 years of SuperBad. How can I keep calm about that? This movie changed my life. Alright, thank you very much for watching. See you later.
I'm a heat seeker. Yeah. tongue tweaker, baby.
This is something I actually noticed. Uses the same font that is used on the Beach Boys album, Pet Sounds. Wow, that's weird. That's weird how things work out like that. Anyways, way off track.